I'm Eshan Kali, designer to be as soon as possible. We're in Canary Wharf right now, it's gloomy weather, but yeah, let's get this interview done. Styling more like, I would say, rather than styling, I would say firstly you gotta have this. For me, it's more about the energy that comes within me when I'm like, getting prepared for certain events, what I'm wearing and stuff. So like, you gotta, for me it's energy. You gotta see the daily weather and stuff on a daily basis. So I see what the weather's like and everything, what I do. So when it comes to more like personal, like working wise, like styling wise, I see myself as definitely a sportswear influenced, heavy sportswear influenced, and a lot of layering. And design wise, I'm practicing, and I'm trying to be a very contemporary sportswear designer regarding like textures and like layerings, like anything experimental. And I quite like block colors. So represent yourself with like a very block colors and maybe a tiny bit of like different colors, a splash of like red, something like that. So it defines me in a way, like it shows who I am, and like I like to always be one step ahead of the trend, no matter if it's crazy, it doesn't matter if I'm wearing a skirt or like this and that, blah blah, but like I like to be ahead of the game, that's what I would say. So, and because I've been doing that since my uni, so I think it's got to a point where like I think some of my surrounding mates and everyone's known me like the way I dress up and everything, and I think because of that it kind of gels in together, and people, and like if I have to, if I do wear something crazy, people would be like, okay, maybe it just suited because I've been doing it for a while, so it's fine. Yeah, so I enjoy it. I just enjoy being experimental and just style myself in a different way. That way, at the same time, I'm learning myself like what could be next. So that's what I would say. Like I've been like just like exploring, like because every time I get free times, I go out to galleries and this and that, which is in a way like when you start like inspiration, when you the basic thing is that when you start in a like as you're studying like in college and university, your tutors are like, the first thing you do, you go to galleries, you go like different places to look and stuff. I would say like for me recently, I've been looking at architects, and I've really realized like architects, like I've got to like hats off to them, because like they've got to be so on point and be way ahead of the game. It's like, because once you build a building, it's not like fashion accessories, like, because it changes every time. Because once you build a massive building, it's like that's going to be for years and years to come. So you got to think about how are you going to represent a society or a certain city or a town. So like I've been looking into a lot of like architectures, and in the same approach that they give to the design process, that's what I'm trying to like get myself into as well. So like get something way ahead of the game, so that would that would make a statement for a certain, hopefully a decade or two as well. So obviously fashion changes every time, but I would love to like think and have a thought process the way they do it. And yeah, I mean it's like when you say inspiration, it's like it could be anything. Like I could be right here, I could just be seeing a table, the patterns on the table, the grain on the table, like things certain, like just get inspired by it and everything. So like it depends on, I would say it depends a lot on its surroundings, and also like what you're determined to do, and like what do you call yeah, just look around like art histories and some that. So that's what I do, like go to galleries when I'm free, and like I'm really more into like quite interactive arts rather than just like painting, which often I love painting as well, but I'm more into like interactive, like contemporary sculptures and this and that. I mean, I love people like Richard Rogers, the architect, Mark Davies, Daniel Arsham. They're one of whom I would consider one of those key people who I've been looking for at the moment. Yeah. Idols, I would say Yohji Yamamoto, Mark Davies again, Richard Rogers. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like design wise, yeah, I would say that. Yeah. At the moment, I would say black with a slash of red. Life.
this relationship?
Roller coaster. 5 years time, I would keep continuing what I'm doing right now. Just keep working on your long-term goal. I would say 5 years time, I want to get myself, obviously get very established, have my label done, which I'm working on it right now, and yeah, just have an established label, I would say. I would say it's like the fashion, like it never came to me. Like I never got into it. So I think sometimes in life it's like, people do different things. Like, some are in banking, some are in like, like designing, some are in like sports and everything. But I think sometimes, like when I first started, I never thought I'd be doing design. When I first came to London, I never thought I'd be designing. I was into business, economics and stuff. So it's a bit of a history. Like what happened was, like, so I had a summer school when I first came. So I had like a trial period for like 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, so I was doing business economics and accounts. And after 4 weeks, my principal got the feedback. She was like, "Your English is very poor," right? And then she got me into GCSE maths and English. I was like, "Really?" And then she was like, "You'd have a lot of free time. So would you want to do performing arts or like art and design?" So I was like, "Performing arts, hell no." So art and design, I was like, "I've never done it. Maybe I'd give it a go." And believe me, like 2007, I would say, yes, that was the first time I ever did art and design. And that year itself, it got me into more. My brain was exploring into more like design ideas, like creative side that had never been done before. Like you got graphics, you got paintings, you got designing, you got photography, and like I was just like, wow, like I could do. There's so much more to it than, because when you're coming back from Nepal, it's like you got like science, accounts, like you're quite limited. And it's also because the scope back home as well. It's just the way it is. Now it's more different. Now it's more contemporary and everything. People are exploring more different sectors, and so yeah, that's what happened to me. So I did foundation art and design, and then that year I did extremely well. So then I thought like maybe I would just carry on with this. I was still not sure like what exactly I'm going to do. So I did my BTech, which is equivalent to A levels, the national diploma. And then from my last year, so when I was getting to uni, I was like, should I do graphics or art and design? So throughout my whole life, I've been very hands-on. So I wouldn't be a guy, like 20% on the computer, like graphics and stuff. So I was like, no, like, I'd rather get into fashion designing. And even when I got into fashion designing, like any any normal young amateur fashion student, you'd be like, yeah, I want to do like gowns and evening dresses, blah blah. And then when I first had an interview with this tutor who's actually a big mentor to me now, he was like telling me look into more like menswear as well, and I was still not sure. So I got into uni, and then which I studied in the University of Creative Arts, and then so the first project we had was a color project for blue project. So anything blue, any material, anything, but it had to be blue, the outcome. So it was very free range, so you could do anything, you could make anything. So I was going to do women's wear, but sadly it was that time when Michael Jackson passed away. So I was like, maybe I could do something tribute to menswear, tribute to MJ. So I did some outfits for like as a tribute to MJ, and since then I realized like all the links that I built up since then throughout my college years, like a lot of them was like quite menswear influenced. So all the people that I had, like who was in like design industry, like who could like sponsor me with like sneakers if I had to do like certain shows or anything. So it was all menswear. So even my tutor was like, you got your own distinctive style. You should look more into menswear. So that's what I thought, like, okay. And this all came to me like I never thought I'd be doing fashion, right? And I never thought like I'd be going to menswear. So that's when I got into menswear, and then the whole year I didn't look back. No women's wear at all. But yeah, so that happened, and then so even then, even I did menswear, so still, first year gone, I still don't know exactly what I want to do. Sportswear, formal wear, contemporary sportswear, like anything, like nothing, like no idea, like, or maybe like draping and contour, nothing, no idea. So I think it was towards my end of second year, like such a stressful time, like I was so close to like dropping out, like it was just all over the place. And then I realized, because then I thought like maybe I would do like sportswear. So at the time I was thinking sportswear is more like high performance sportswear, and then you got so much different areas. So I thought like, yeah, maybe look into like sport, like get the sportswear details out, and then like play around, experiment, and yeah, then by second year was done. By the time second year was done, I was writing my, like, I had a good mind set up and everything. So I thought like, yeah, like sportswear designing is definitely the one for me. So since then I've just been doing that. I love it. It's definitely. I mean, with I would say like if you, I mean, first that's the thing. Like you gotta have this, excitement and like energy when you're into like into any course, whatever you're doing, right? And it's just that like I would say, well, personally, what I've experienced, like if you, and I've seen a lot of people, like if you're getting into fashion designing, it's not one of those courses like, like, oh, it's 3 years course and first is I'm just gonna party and like have fun, blah blah, which it does sound like fashion designing course, but it's a lot of hectic work, man. Like since day one, you gotta have a right mindset, think about like what exactly you want to get done, like what you want to achieve from the universities, and I would say because it's a lot of hectic work, man. Because when you get into fashion, like for me, when I first got into fashion, I thought like, yeah, it's just gonna be, it's designing, that's it. But when you get into fashion, there's so much in there, like, and the process, it's so much, and it's a very independent course. It's not like you'd be going lectures every day. It's nothing at all like that, because you've got practical side and the theoretical, the research side, and it's a lot of research to do, and a lot of experiments at the same time. So like I would say you got to have very determined, a lot of hard work, very like creative, but in the same time very curious. You got to be very curious about things, like like for example, you got a table, like why is the table flat, why could it be round, like why have you got legs on it, like maybe just have your own ways, just be more experimental and more like find new ideas to make the same thing but in a different way. So I mean that's what fashion is for me. Like it's very like fashion styling, it recycles every time. Like you see like 80s thing coming back, you see 90s thing coming back, this and that. So it's a lot of it's like it's the way you want to see a man or a woman like dressed up, you know what I mean? So you gotta have your own, you could bring your own ethical values into it, you can bring your own like personality into it. And for me it's like sportswear, so I bring a lot of, sometimes maybe I'm looking at it like, like last year I went back home Nepal for trekking, so maybe I got a few influences, or maybe like from a few ideas from there, like what rock climbing is about, so maybe influence rock climbing into like sportswear. So what would that look like, you know what I mean? So like just looking at different elements of like like normal daily life around you maybe, and like just gotta be very determined and like just stick up to your goal and stuff. And I would say like, because you could be like like, oh, this is not getting me anywhere, blah blah blah, this and that, but like if you keep doing it, like you're getting to that, you're getting somewhere, rather than just quit it. I mean, but rather, when you say quit, it doesn't mean it's bad. Sometimes you might not be, the course might not be right for you. You might want to be doing something else, like you realize later on. So for me, it's never been that way. It's like you got to stick up to it, and you got to think like like around this time, like I want to be doing this. So just be focused. Just it's like the slogan for Nike. Just do it. You know what I mean? Just got to keep doing it. That's what. I think I quite like the one I just said. Nike, just do it. Like you just gotta do it. Like I mean, for me, I'm not really that kind of guy. Like I look into a lot of architectural works and this and that. I'm not really. I'll just be honest. I'm not really a heavy reader or anything. But I would say just just set up this mind into you. Like it doesn't have to be like like exactly like I'm going to be doing this. But at least an approximate, like a broad like setup in your mind, like what exactly you want to do, like the ideas you have in recent times. So just manage yourself, just every like weekly basis, know that what you're doing, and especially in the fashion industry, because it's a very fast industry, like everything's changing like every week. So I would say just any area, doesn't have to be fashion, any areas you go to, just be determined, just do what you need to do, what you need to do. And yeah, just keep moving on like on a daily basis. That's all I would say. And good luck.
Yeah. Okay, that was great.
That's what
Thank you very much.
Cheers, man. That's good, man. Anytime.
Yeah.
And watch out for Eshan Kali coming up soon. The website's launching soon, and we'll have plenty of collections for you guys. And keep tuning in to Basland.